Hi everyone. In this video, we wanted to share our entire seed collection. We have seeds from some Canadian companies, mostly Canadian, but also some US based companies. It's tougher for us to get seeds from the US, but we do have some seeds from Johnny's that have been really great. So we wanted to go over all the different varieties that we have. So we've got some root vegetables, some fruiting types, we've got flowers, we've got herbs, we've got greens, we've got beans. So there's a little bit of everything. So let's get started. Let's get started with this fruiting category. These are peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers for the most part. So this is a purple beauty pepper. And funny enough, it's the only sweet pepper we've ever been successful at growing. It seems that red pepper just doesn't seem to like either the climate or the conditions here in southern Ontario, so that doesn't work for us. For those of you who have polytunnels, it probably works quite well there, but we don't. So this pepper, for some reason, seems to like the growing conditions, and it grows quite well. So we've been growing it year after year. This is a new one we picked up from the Incredible Seed Company. It actually is pretty cool. It's tiny hot peppers. They're purple in color, so quite fun. It grows really, really well in the garden. So we'll definitely grow this again. Now, jalapenos are our all-time favorite spicy pepper in this household for sure. So these are a keeper. In fact, I'm trying to overwinter this jalapeno pepper plant so that we get an early head start next year. Now this year we tried growing okra just out of curiosity. I love okra. Devin is not a fan. So we planted a couple of plants. They actually gave us a little bit of a crop, which was really fun. And if you know, okra flowers are just beautiful. So just for the decorative value alone, we'll definitely grow these again. And for those of you who are in the northern climates, these are actually great for northern growers. It's a sort of a short growing season variety. So definitely try it out for those of you who are in northern climates. I mean, it'll work in warmer climate as well, I would imagine. It'll just crop much faster than other okra varieties. Now onto the tomatoes. Probably my favorite plant to grow, and this is my favorite tomato variety. I've yet to find one that tastes better, grows better, and gives a better yield. So it's the Mortgage Lifter. It's just an all-time winner. We actually made a whole video about some of the varieties of tomatoes that we've grown this year. So if you're curious, definitely check it out. But this one will probably grow forever. The next one is the Blonde Kopf Cherry tomato. These are really cute, fun little cherry tomatoes. They grow in a cluster, kind of like grape clusters. Really fun, mild flavor, but fun. We'll probably grow this until the seeds run out, but I'm not quite sure we'll be repurchasing these particular seeds. Alaska tomato, nice standard flavor tomato. We'll definitely grow it again. It's a quick cropping one also for those northern gardeners amongst us. Washington cherry, it's Devin's favorite tomato. It's quite firm to my liking, and it's a large cherry, so it's definitely great value. We'll grow it again, but not my personal favorite, so we'll see. Now, Gold Nugget, really nice orange yellow tomato. Definitely will grow this one again. And then the Tiny Tim, this is an interesting one. It's a bush. It's a sort of a dwarf tomato. It's really tiny. We did include it in one of the videos as well. If you're curious to see how tall it grows, it's really, really compact. So it's great for baskets, balconies, small spaces. Now the flavor, I'm not going to say it's the best ever. It's okay, but it works really well for small spaces, which is great. So we'll keep growing until we find a better tasting dwarf bush tomato that we can grow. Now the standard Roma tomato, can't go wrong with this. I mean, it's a crowd favorite, so this one will stay in our collection forever. Garden peach is a new variety I was really curious to try out. And it just didn't have enough time to grow, unfortunately. So I got one teeny tiny little tomato off of it, and it was really fun and fuzzy, which is what the description says. It has slight fuzz on the skin like a peach. The taste was okay. I couldn't really tell, maybe because it didn't size up properly. So we'll try again next year and see what we think. Tasmanian chocolate. Now this one I really liked. We only got a couple of tomatoes off of this because it got demolished by disease. We had so much rain in September, and so that's when these tomatoes were sizing up, so they got disease on them, unfortunately. So what I was able to try was really good, and Devin thought it was quite nice as well. So I think we'll grow this again and see what we think, and try to perhaps avoid that rainy season if we can, so perhaps plant it sooner. The silver fir tree, I didn't get any tomatoes off of it, just planted it way too late, unfortunately. But it was so fun. The leaves are so fun. They're so wispy looking and cute. So I'm curious to actually see what the tomatoes taste like. So we'll plant it next year. Carolina Gold, a great tomato. I'm a fan of orange, yellow tomatoes. So we'll definitely plant this one again. And then the two cucumber varieties that we grew this year are the Market More cucumber, which is a really standard cucumber, kind of looks like the one that you get from grocery stores. Good cucumber, you know, definitely will grow it again. And then the new one we wanted to try from Heritage Harvest Seed was the miniature white cucumber. And I have to say, I really loved it. We actually didn't plant it in the allotment garden. We planted it on the balcony in a green stalk in one of the pockets, and it grew so fast and it was so prolific, and the cucumbers were so adorable, teeny tiny little ones, sort of greenish white in color with sort of black spots on them, and the flavor super mild, really nice cucumber. So this one is a keeper for sure. On to the next category. So these are greens and herbs, and there's a lot of them, so I'll quickly breeze through these. These are really fun scallions, red beard. Now I have to say, we've planted them and grown them successfully, but we never got to actually see the red stalk on these guys. So perhaps we need to time it a little bit better so they're exposed to cold weather. But all in all, really great scallions. Now this is my new discovery, Joker lettuce. I am obsessed. It is so fun. We grew this on the balcony in a container, and it looks great. It tastes great. Honestly, it's just a really good lettuce. So this will be a keeper and probably be one of the few lettuces that we'll continue buying. The Fast and Furious blend is just a baby leaf blend. Grows pretty fast. It grows well in all kinds of conditions. Now stevia, I have a love-hate relationship with this because on the one hand I would really like to grow our own sugar, so to say, in leaf form. But every time we've planted it, it just doesn't seem to work. It sometimes, a couple of times it came up, but it just sort of died off and never grew, and then the rest of the times I've tried planting it, it just never even germinated. So let us know in the comments below if you've had success growing stevia. What's the trick? What are we missing here? Celery, tall Utah celery. We had some success growing it, although it didn't really get to full maturity. So we'll try again next year. It's probably a timing issue. We do have sort of a shorter growing timeline here in the northern climate in southern Ontario. So perhaps that's the catch. So we're trying a winter planting this year to see if we can extend the timeline a little bit and get to full-size celery. Cimarron lettuce, really fun. Definitely a keeper. And then this is something we picked up from Johnny's Seeds. So it's pelleted lettuce, romaine lettuce. So we'll see how this compares to the other lettuce varieties we have. Tom Thumb, really compact, sweet, nice lettuce. Definitely great flavor. So this is the one that I'm excited for the most usually, because I really enjoy the flavor of this one. Spinach, seaside spinach. These are tiny baby leaves. We grow this on the balcony to add to salads. Lemon balm. Now, this is probably one of my all-time favorite herbs. It's prolific. It smells amazing. It has this sort of lemony smell. It's so good in cheese. We grew it on the balcony last year, but I think next year we'll probably plant some in the allotment as well, so we have more of it. Really great. Basil, can't go wrong with basil. Works with everything. We've been growing basil everywhere, on the balcony, in the green stalk, at the allotment. This is a keeper. Parsley, again, can't go wrong with parsley. It's sort of a universal herb to be used in any cooking. It's also really, it does really well in cold climates. And so not this winter, but the previous winter, it made pretty much all through the winter on the balcony in a container, which I was really surprised by. So very, very hardy green, slow to germinate, but after that it grows really prolifically. Kitchen blend basil, some fun varieties here, and then on its own red Reuben basil, which we really liked. It was in this kitchen blend, so we decided to get it on its own. So fun, such a cool flavor, such a cool plant. We filmed a little bit of footage on this if you're curious to see what it looks like. Really, really cool. And then cinnamon basil, really great in cheese. So we love all of these. Now the next category is flowers. I'm a fan of growing flowers everywhere. So there's quite a few varieties here. This is the teddy bear sunflower. We didn't actually grow it this year, but we grew it the year before, and it was super cute. Really short, sort of knee-high sunflower, really fuzzy, really fun looking, definitely decorative. So we'll probably grow it again, but I'm not sure we'll be repurchasing the seeds just because it's kind of a shorter sunflower, and it doesn't really create the height that I was hoping for. Zinnia, candy cane mix, really fun. Love zinnias, can't go wrong with these. Sweet William, one of my favorite flowers. The scent is just phenomenal, and for us it did come back the following year, and it is a biennial. So you know, plant it once and it'll come back twice. Really fun. Marigolds, love marigolds, and in particular this variety. These are quite tall, so that's really, really awesome, and they look a little bit different, have this sort of darker color, so quite like these. Nasturtium, absolutely love nasturtium. I mean, can't really pick a favorite flower, but this is probably in the top 2 or 3. They're edible. Love adding the flowers and the leaves into salads. Devin actually enjoys them as well, so for both of us, this is definitely a winner. We'll always grow nasturtiums. It says it works well in containers, but to be honest, I've kind of struggled growing them in containers. So we only plant them in the allotment now, because in containers they seem to don't grow as well. I don't know if it's the space is the issue or whatever the case may be, but they do well in the garden. Now these calendula are, I'm just obsessed. The zeolites calendula are amazing. They have this beautiful coloring on them. They're edible. Calendula is really great in cheese. It's one of our favorites. So we always grow it everywhere we can. Sweet pea. These are fun. Really fun flowers. They're climbing flowers, so they're great for creating that living fence. The smell is amazing. They're sometimes tougher to grow. I find they're a little bit tougher to grow, and they prefer sort of, you know, full sun conditions. So haven't been super successful with them, but when it works, they're great. Oh, this is my favorite nasturtium variety, Empress of India. So fun. The leaves are a little bit darker. The flowers are this deep dark red. So beautiful, just gorgeous. Oh, and zinnias. Back to zinnias. This is my favorite variety, the Queenie formula mix. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful, so beautiful. At the time, I was only able to find them at Johnny's Seeds, but I believe West Coast Seeds now carries the Queenie formula. Not sure if it's available in all varieties or just one or two colors. But there might be options for us Canadian gardeners out there. Now, cornflower, these are so fun. These are great. I mean, they're edible, they're fun, they look great, they grow well. Definitely a staple in any garden. And last but not least, Cosmos. It's so sweet, such a sweet flower. So definitely another staple in the garden. Next, on to the roots. So beets. I love beets. Devin is not a fan, but we still grow them. These are probably the most fun, different looking beets I've ever seen. They're called Bull's Blood. Really, really fun, deep purple coloring. So these are a must for our garden. We'll keep growing them. Carrots, a rainbow blend. If you can't decide what variety you like, this is a great one to pick up. Golden Detroit beet. These are probably the only beets that Devon will eat because the flavor is much milder, and that's just generally the case with golden beet varieties. They're not as earthy as the sort of purple beets. So I like them too, so we'll keep growing this. Early Wonder Tall Top. This is, standard purple beet. Red wing onion. Haven't been super successful growing this. They haven't really sized up to full size. So we're thinking it's probably because they didn't have enough time. So we're going to try winter sowing them this year indoors and then transplant them earlier in the spring to see if we have better success next year. My favorite turnips, Purple Prince. Absolutely love these. Devon enjoys them roasted, but I like them fresh in salads, roasted, sauteed, whatever. Turnips are great. These grow so well. They taste amazing. And then these are probably our favorite carrots. They're super sweet, taste really good. They grow really well, so another staple. Now on to the beans and peas. Now, Gold Rush, my absolute favorite bush bean. It grows well. It tastes so good. Always have success with it. Super, super good. So this will probably always be a staple for us. Wanda peas. These are good, although I've learned that I'm not the biggest fan of peas and Devon doesn't enjoy them. So we'll probably phase them out of our garden. These are pole beans. They're purple, really fun to grow, but because we're quite limited on space, we've learned that bush beans actually work much better for our garden, so we'll probably phase these out as well. And then Scarlet Emperor beans, gorgeous. I actually got them to see if I can attract hummingbirds because they have these really bright red flowers that hummingbirds are supposed to enjoy. Haven't seen any hummingbirds yet, but I'll keep growing them until the seeds run out to see if perhaps we do get some success attracting hummingbirds to the garden. Now, these beans they grow quite well both in containers and in the garden, but I find that they're a little bit tougher to taste than the Gold Rush beans. So we got the two of them to see which ones work better, and I have to say the Gold Rush variety definitely wins. I'm a huge fan of broad beans. Love, love, love fava beans. So we grow them every year. And this is probably my favorite variety, the Windsor broad bean. It works super well. And now my new favorite when it comes to bush beans is Dragon's Tongue. They're super fun. The coloring is really fun. Although I have to say in terms of taste, Gold Rush still wins. And then this is corn, the corn variety that we like. We didn't grow it this year. We grew it the year before. But I have to say that I regretted that decision. So we'll definitely grow this in the years to come. And now the final category is brassicas. Swiss chard. I am surprised at how versatile Swiss chard is. So this has become my replacement for lettuce in the summer months when lettuce just doesn't grow. And this is my favorite variety. It grows super well and it tastes really good. Now kale, there's two varieties that we grow, the Red Russian and the Red Improved Siberian. They're both really great. The coloring is more fun on the Red Russian variety. Both work well in containers or in the garden. Now broccoli, I have a love-hate relationship with broccoli. It's my absolute favorite vegetable, if I could pick one. But I just, for the life of me, can't seem to grow it well. It never sizes up to a proper size, or it gets demolished by cabbage butterflies, or it gets eaten by bunnies in the garden. So I may just need to give up because it seems that it's just not really working for us. But you know, we'll keep trying. We'll see if we can find some protection for the plants so they don't get demolished by pests, and perhaps try again. And then some cabbages. Haven't had success growing this one. It got demolished by pests as well. So similar to the broccoli story, this is a sad one. So we need to find a way to protect cabbages from pests out in the garden. Now this tiara cabbage, surprisingly, I was successful growing it in previous years. And it tasted amazing. It grew really, really well. And for some reason, the pests didn't touch it. So perhaps it was just the right combination of companion plants at the time. But we'll definitely grow this again. It's a quick cropping one. It tastes amazing. Doesn't take up too much space. So it's a keeper. Now, this cabbage, it's a red cabbage, we did grow this year. And again, it just didn't size up. So it was either a timing issue or pest pressure or lack of nutrients. Who knows? You know, things don't always work out in the garden, but we'll definitely give it another try. And then Brussels sprouts, these just don't work for us. We tried planting from seed, never works. We picked up seedlings this year, and they sort of worked, but the Brussels sprouts were super tiny, so it doesn't really feel like it's worth it. So it's one of those crops that we'll probably have to give up on. So this is our seed collection. Let us know in the comments below what your favorite seeds are, what you like to grow, what doesn't work for you. What are your favorite flowers? What are your favorite root crops? Your brassicas, your herbs, your greens? Let us know. We'd love to connect with you, and we'd love to hear from you what your recommendations are for the different seeds to grow in the garden in a small space. Thanks so much for watching.